Aliyah. All praise to Yahweh. In the name of his son, our savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Today we're in the first day Torah portion, Parashah of Lech, lecha. Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 through 17. Dealing with our father, 1 through 13, dealing with our father, Abraham. All right. Right now, his name is still Abraham. His name is still Abram, which means father, exalted, or the high father. Okay. Now the Most High is talking to Abraham, but it bears to mention that during his lifetime, Noah was still alive, Shem was still alive, and Eber was still alive. As a matter of fact, Eber lived longer than Abram. So these stories that we read of our history, these aren't just isolated, disconnected instances in people. These people actually interacted with and knew each other. So our fathers knew each other. Abraham knew Shem, more than likely because they were around in the same time period. Noah, as well as Eber. All right. Now remember, his father named him Abraham, high father. Why did his father name him that? Maybe his father was told through prophecy that his son was going to be where the Most High started to branch off and create his own nation. Maybe that's why, just like we see happening with Noah. We see the same thing happen with Noah, because in his time, the Most High gave comfort and relieved the curse, all right, and brought goodness back to the earth again. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start with verse 1 and go down to verse 13. Okay. And had said Yahweh to Abram, get out of thy land, which is Lech, lecha. All right. Lech, lecha. Go to you yourself. All right. Lecha, to you. So get out of the land. All right. Of your family. All right. Why? It said, and of your family. All right. So that word they used there for family. Not like it says kindred, birthplace. So it says wa ma mawalath mawalakwath. I'm sorry. So that's basically just the offsprings, the blood relatives. Okay. Because we see Ladath right here, which is Ladah, which means like lot, Yaladium, children. So you and all your children. So it says wa and from ma. Then he says mawaladath ka. Okay, mawaladath or mawaladath ka, your family. Okay, and from the house of your father to a land that I will show you. Now remember, they're in the land of Haran right now, which is basically in the southern part of Turkey, by the Turkey-Syrian border in modern times, a few miles up from the border of Turkey and Syria, about 9 miles, about 10 miles away from that border. So he went into, they were coming from southern Turkey. Now they're about to go further south, to a land that I will show you, and I will make a nation. Now, see this word nation here? It says Gawoya, which is the word we use for Gentile. So Gentile isn't always talking about somebody else. Gentile is a generic word for a group of people. It's a generic word for a related group of people, usually related. All right. So he says to be a nation, he says Gadwal, a great nation. So the Most High says, now I'm gonna start to trim things down. First we had the Hebrews, and now I'm gonna start to take from them Hebrews my people that I'm gonna create as a great nation, which is a great Gentiles. All right, if you want to be fair in how you translate it, it says La Gawaya Gadwal, which means great Gentiles. Okay, so he says, and I will bless you and make, right here, Gadwala, and make great your name. All right, and be a blessing. You will be a blessing. Your name will be a blessing, or you will be a blessing. So he says, he's going to make Abraham a great nation, and that Abraham is going to be a blessing. And listen what he says here. And I will bless those who bless you, and him who curses you, I will curse, and shall be blessed in you all families of the earth. So it says, Kal Mashpachat. So it says, any family on the planet Earth is going to be blessed through our father Abraham or Abram. But they only be blessed if they what? If they bless you, if they bless Abraham, if they bless Isaac and Jacob, if they bless the children of Israel. The people of these nations will be blessed if they bless Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Why do I say that? Because we are the seed of Isaac. We are the seed of Jacob. We are the seed of Abraham. All right. So if they bless us, then they're blessed. All right. Let's go to verse 4. All right. So left Abraham that had spoken to him Yahweh, and went with him Lot. So Abraham left, obeying Yahweh and trusting in him, and Lot went with him also. And Abram was 5 years and 70 years when he departed from Haran. So Abraham was 75 years old when he left from Haran, and took Abram to Sarai, his wife, and Lot, son of his brother, which is Lot was Abraham's nephew, and all the possessions that they had gathered, and the people whom they had acquired. All right. So they had people, families living with them together with possessions. They got everything up and they left. Now, this is a big, big caravan, literally hundreds of people. I mean, just from the soldiers that Abraham had was 300. Just the protectors was 300. So that can give you, that can give you an estimate of how many people there were over top of the 300 of the men, of the children, women, people that provide essential services for. Basically, Abraham is a village chief that's about to become a great, prosperous nation, according to the promise of Yahweh. And the other nations know this too. This not just happening in some global, isolated bubble. Everybody knows these things. These things are the prophecies of the Messiah coming down to save man from the sins that Adam did is known all throughout the earth. Right. So Abraham got all his people and the possessions that they had gathered. All right. And they what? They left. Yatzawa. They left to go to the land of Canaan. So they came to the land of Canaan. Right. Verse 6. Genesis 12 and 6. And passed through Abram the land to the place of Shechem, as far as the terebinth, all right, the terebinth tree, all right, of Moreh, really of Maorah, all right. And the Canaanite was at the time in the land. So the Canaanites were still living in this land. That's where they settled at, all right. And appeared Yahweh to Abram and said, to your descendants, which is your seed, all right, Zarika, to your seed will I give this land. And he built there an altar to Yahweh, who appeared to him. So just like Noah built that altar, made a sacrifice to Yahweh after the flood, Abraham now is respecting the promise that Yahweh is giving to him, saying, okay, man, I'm going to build this ark. I'm going to build this altar and sacrifice to Yahweh. Okay. Verse 8. And he moved from there to the mountain east of Bethel, and he pitched his tent with Bethel on the west and Wahiyah and I on the east. And he built there an altar to Yahweh and called on the name of Yahweh. So now he starts to really set up a system of worshiping, a system of recognition of Yahweh. Once Yahweh starts to deal with him, he said, man, this is my God now. I got to really be serious and sincere and call on his name. Now, he knew about the Most High creator of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob when he first started out, when the Most High made that promise to him. All right. So as a token, he said, I'm going to sacrifice these animals to show him that I'm grateful to him. But our fathers, Noah, Shem, they taught their children the righteous ways of obedience to the Most High. And they had a lot of the laws that we have now from the Torah. All right. That's why Abraham was called righteous, because he walked in the way that his fathers taught him of righteousness. So journeyed Abram, going to and still toward the Negev, toward the south, which is the Negev desert area of Israel. So going in that direction, but traveling toward the south. Okay. And there was a famine in the land, and went down Abram to Egypt to dwell there, for severe was the famine in the land. All right. Which that's actually heavy, great. So there was a famine in the land of Canaan, and the Most High said, okay, we're going to, Abraham said, I'm going to get up and go down into the land of the Matazadium. All right. Matazadium. I'm going to go there and I'm going to dwell there for a little so I can get relief from this famine. All right. Now, continuing on. Famine, there was a shortage of food. Certain crops weren't growing that were essential. And he got so many people. Maybe small little families could have made it, but Abraham had too many people he was responsible for. And he said, the best thing for me to do is just get up and go into another land. And that's exactly what he did. All right. So he had to make that decision for everybody. He consulted and talked with his people. He didn't just wake up and say, okay, pack up, we going. Maybe he did, but very unlikely that he would do it that way. Especially we know the scripture, in the multitude of counsel there is safety. And it came to pass, Genesis 12:11, when he was close to entering Egypt, all right, that he said to Sarai, all right, his wife, his woman, behold, now I know that a woman, beautiful countenance, all right, so a woman that's very beautiful, yapath, beautiful to look at, all right, are you Atha, all right, therefore it will come to pass when see you, the Egyptians, Hamatazadium, when they see you, that they will say, his wife this is, and they will kill me, but you they will let live. Why? Because some Egyptians are going to want to take Abraham's wife for themselves because she was a beautiful woman, and they lusted after her. They would lust after her for her to be their wife. Her beauty was just striking, unmatched. So please, that's what he's saying. No, I'm saying, he says, Amadia. So he says, say, please, my sister, you are, that it may be well with me, for your sake, that may live my soul because of you. Say, please say you my sister, so that I don't die, and people know that I'll be grateful to you. So listen to how he said it. He said that it may be well with me for your sake. All right. So he says, ba. All right. So he says, for the sake of. All right. So he said, for your sake, it'll be well with me for your sake or for your doing, all right, in order for you, all right, that may live, that my soul may live because of you, all right. All right, so he's saying it's gonna be better for good for both of us if you tell this little lie to them and let them know that we're brothers and sisters. All right. So that's a pretty short Torah portion. Um, we see that Abraham to save his life. Now remember, the one criticism I can offer in this particular Torah portion is that Yahweh just told Abraham that he was going to become a great nation, going to become a great people, and from his seed. Now Yahweh promised him that it was going to be his seed that was going to be great. Right here, he tells him, La Zarika, to your seed. All right. Atan, I give, Ath, fully and completely. Okay. Haratza, land, Hazaat. I give this land to your descendants. All right. So Abraham knows that from a legal perspective, he doesn't have a child from his designated wife, which is Sarai. He doesn't have a baby with her yet. So my only criticism and point that I can observe here is that when Abraham told told his wife to tell the Africans, the Egyptians, he said, tell them that you are my sister. Now, there would have been no need for him to tell them that she was his sister if he fully knew that the promise that Yahweh made to him about his seed was definitely going to happen. Why? Because he does not have a legitimate seed with his bonded wife yet. He doesn't have any babies with his wife yet. So he should have known that, hey, the Most High made me a promise, so this is my wife. So he still had a little bit of fear. What we see, he got some growing pains walking into this relationship with Yahweh. He has faith because he got up and he acted on his faith, but his faith wasn't perfected at this point. His faith became perfected after he saw the Most High performing. And when it came to sacrifice Isaac, he said, and he's fighting with his angel. Now I got to do what the Most High said for me to do. His faith becomes more perfected. But at the onset now, he hasn't seen Yahweh really interact with him, doing a lot of things for him. So he's building up his faith. All right. So, but let his example be an example for us to trust in Yahweh from the beginning of the promises that we see in the scriptures. Why? Because we have the full record of what has happened. All right. There was not a whole lot of records that they had of the Most High interacting with us and doing faithful things for individuals. We've seen him destroy. We've seen him made the bow within the rain and things of that nature, but we don't really see him just, being the power that we see him to be later on, performing miracles and wonders in the eyes of everybody, and for people's eyes to wonder at and be, amazed, to give all the glory and honor and praise to Yahweh. So that's really the only, I guess it would be maybe some sort of a criticism maybe that I could offer at this point of the juncture of the venture. Other than that, everything is examples for us also that the Most High told. We don't necessarily have to stay in one place. Abraham we see Ararat. And then from Ararat, we see people went to Ur of Chaldees, which is in modern day Iraq. That's where our fathers actually took root at, was Iraq. Now, maybe you have some other things going on over in Africa. Some Hamites over there, as we see the Egyptians were over there. But our fathers from the Shemitic families, we started to reproduce in the eastern part of the Fertile Crescent area, Babylon area, modern day Iraq. All right, Turkey, that area is where we started to reproduce at. So maybe, you want to say, okay, we're Africans, we're Asian, if you want to use terms like that, Shemitic Asia, so-called primarily. Then we migrated into Africa, um, which is occupied primarily by the nation of the people of Ham. But we're not Hamitic. We're actually technically political Africans because we occupy the land that was called Africa later on, but from being still a distinct people from the main descendants of Ham that were in that land. Now they're ethnic Africans, the Egyptians are, but we could be considered to be political Africans because we went into that land, all right, occupying the political territory known as Africa. Just like these Canaanites here, they weren't in the land of Africa. They occupied the land Shem was actually given. So they could, they could be called political Asians, but they were in that land, but they weren't of the same seed as Shem was. All right. So with Abraham, we see a great testament of the Most High said it. I believe it. That settles it. Now I got to do it to show what? To show my faith, because we know the faith without works is dead. All right. So Yahweh called unto him, told him, get out. I'm going to go take you to another country. All right. And then he did it. Now, remember, at this point, we see the Most High talking with so many people, talking with Adam, even talking unto the wicked. He was even talking unto Cain. All right. So then we see him talking to Enoch was walking with him. All right. Noah was walking with him. Right. So he's talking with Noah. Right. He's talking with Noah. So now he's talking to Abraham. So we see this talking of the Most High going on with different people, making these promises, because everybody knows that this is all leading up to the Savior coming down to the earth to bruise the head of the serpent so that we can get back into that eternal life rhythm that Adam was originally in. All right. Now so now we going in from Turkey. So these are all places where our forefathers were at, stopping through or setting up roots, southern Iraq, northern Iraq, southern Turkey, all right, the Mediterranean, eastern Mediterranean area, all right, from Syria all the way down to Israel, and then from Israel going all the way down into Africa, into Egypt, all right. So we were all over the place in that eastern part of the Mediterranean, and then we came into the southern parts of the Mediterranean when we went into Egypt. All right, so we're a globe-trotting people, but more sedimentary. Our brother Esau, the so-called white man, he's globe-trotting, but he doesn't keep at home. He tries to set up places and bases and cities for himself, and his people, and his control all over the globe, Africa, Asia, all right, Cuba, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, all right. He's tried to set up all over the globe, but we went from one place to another place looking for a homeland to set up roots. So here we see Abraham going from one place to another, from Ur of Chaldees to Haran, and then from Haran or Haran going down to Shechem into the land of Canaan. Then from Canaan, or from Canaan land, he goes down into continental Africa, which is where we find him at now. All right, so now he's in Africa, and we'll pick up from the point of being in Africa tomorrow. So there's a famine in our land, or the land of Canaan, where he's still kind of like a sojourner. All right, but the Most High promised him he was going to give him that land. So he's still he's still occupying that land as his. He hasn't taken on that promise yet, but it's his. He hasn't fulfilled the promise yet. He actually doesn't fulfill it. We fulfill it when we come up out of Egypt. We fulfill the promise of getting that land. The Most High makes us go to war, with the Amorites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Hittites, all the 7 nations of Canaan. But right now there's a famine in the land of Canaan, and we got to go down into Egypt. But we went down there, a great multitude. Abraham And remember, he had 314 soldiers. That's not including the shepherds. That's not including people that had exclusive jobs that weren't warriors. All right. So he went down a great multitude and came out even greater. All right. So he's like a sheikh. He has this big nomad of people following behind him, um, helping him maintain himself and his dream that Yahweh is giving him as a reality that your people are going to take over and occupy, this land. So now when that's inherited by Jacob, which was given to him by his father Isaac, Gentile, a lot of other nations were with us too. Because remember, Abraham was a Shemitic prince, a Hebrew prince, and there was no Israel. So now when Isaac and Jacob have children, these people are Israelites now. So Isaac creates Jacob, and then Jacob creates the 12 tribes of Israel. So now they create the 12 tribes of Israel, they still inherit these Gentile servants. So when we get the Gentile servants and go down into Egypt, a lot of Gentile servants were down there with us too. When we came out of Egypt, the Gentile servants and the Gentile people that were living among us were still with us. We just don't have the records of their genealogies, going who went down there. We have our own genealogy, but the Bible doesn't record their genealogy, but it does record that they were down there with us. But we were the rulers, we were the kings, we were the priests. All right, we were the ones that Most High was dealing with. All right, so with that, hey, I think we all finished for today. So I thank you for your time. Shema Yasharala Yahweh Alahaino Yahweh Kad wa Ahabda At Yahweh Alahayaka Bakal Lababka Wabakal Napaska Wabakal Ma'atka. Hail Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one, and you shall love Yahweh your power with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Hallelujah. Tawadatam Yad. Aman. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Hamashach Yahweh Shai. Thank you for joining me for another Torah portion. And we'll be back tomorrow to give you another portion, which is going to be Genesis chapter 12, verses 14 through 13 and to 13 and 4. All right, so that's going to be what we read tomorrow. So if you want to catch a preview on what we're going to be discussing, you can go ahead and do that. That's 7 verses, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 7 verses, and then 4 verses inside of chapter 13. All right, so that's 11 verses. Tomorrow we're going to be going into, for the second day, Torah Parashah. All right. So once again, I thank you all for being a part of this Torah reading. Thank you for embarking on the journey to learn more about your power, Yahweh, and more about the salvation that he brought to us through the power of his son, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, which did everything according to the will, of his father. So Shalom Lakam, may Yahweh bless you and be righteous towards you and give you the heart to obey him in the name of his son, which is a black man that the world calls Jesus Christ, whose actual name is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, peace be unto you. Shalom Lakam. All right, so we still going in Google. All right, so I guess Google will go ahead and end you too. All right. All right, Shalom Lakam.